So it's like this variation within a high level of intensity that creates a melody. My brain's going to explode. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me for another reaction video. If you are new, please don't forget to subscribe, turn on those notifications, and you're good to go. We are back with the powerful Polyphia and a song called OD. It came out in 2018, I think, and it's off an album called New Levels, New Devils, which is a great name for an album. And my first reaction I did to them was a song called Goat, and I was massively blown away by their technical ability, their style, the grooves. I'm a huge fan of the sound they produce as a group, as an instrumental group. And can't wait to see what they do with this one. Clearly, you guys are huge fans of theirs too, because I got loads of feedback, loads of comments and requests, and there were a lot of songs you were asking for, including Yes, Look But Don't Touch, I think is one of theirs, Goose, and then OD. This one looked like the biggest request, that's why I'm doing it first, but I'm a big fan, so I'm going to work my way through all of them. Don't worry about that. Slightly nervous, very excited. I know they're going to knock it out the park. Polyphia, OD, let's see what you got. Okay. Shoo. Okay, I need to go back to the beginning and I'll tell you why. That was a very quick, intense start. A lot of busyness from the guitarist. They're working very tightly together, but I want to see the placement of something. I want to see the placement of their hands, so I've gone back to the beginning. But two other things I picked up on. There is, right off the bat, there's this like initial kind of choir fade in and drop. So it's this, and it happens once or twice. There's this like urgency and build up, and then it gets taken away. So it's like this delay factor in terms of when it's going to kick in. And then you saw the drummer come in with one of those, I don't know the technical term, but it's a plastic percussion block. And it comes in like, it starts sounding like it's a click when it comes in. It's consistent. He intensifies that, but they seem to be like a roll that was happening at the same time. So that may be another layer of sampling. There's a lot going on. I expected no less. Very intense, but very cool. Okay, wow. Have to go back one more. I wanted to go back because I was trying to see if my ears are struggling to pick up in the beginning if they were doing a kind of harmony version of each other's notes they were playing, because they're playing the same kind of melody and doing the same runs, or if they were playing exactly the same notes and it was meant as an amplification tool where you get this slight offset, even though they are super tight and super kind of in tune with each other, you do get this slight offset, which is actually a really great effect, and it's kind of purposeful in a lot of ways. It sounds like that's the case because the placement of their hands look like to be in the same kind of place when they're doing the runs. They're not showing them at the same time. It sounds like it's them doing the same thing with a different tonal value on their guitars. It is definitely clean. It's got a lot of clang, a lot of brightness, but it's got some drive on it. Definitely got a little bit of drive, particularly on the low end. And speaking of kind of that atmosphere building and drop and kind of delay of that, they did it again with the drummer. So as he was doing those rolls, I got really excited it was going to build up, and then he stopped and paused. They all did, and then they came in with the song. And that's when the groove fully kicked in. Very cool. This drummer, it's so difficult when you're playing in a band that has such incredible musicians across the board. It's easy to be overshadowed, and I think the guitarists are definitely kind of the front figures of the band, but this drummer is something intense. He is in a relationship with that hi-hat because he does not miss a beat, and he is very, very, very careful and supportive about each note he plays on there. It shines through with a lot of clarity, and he's incredible. His grooves, his understanding of melody, just to stick with these other guys is a feat in its own, but he does way more than that. special. Okay, so here they're doing one guitarist doing lead, one's doing it's essentially a second lead, but it's more rhythm in terms of, in fact, he's playing chords. He's playing the chord version of what the lead guy's doing. So you're still getting that same amplification, same reinforcement of the melody, but it's chords and lead working together. Yeah. There's a couple of things I want to mention that I think are really important. The first one is just technical thinking versus technical playing. They're doing both here. Sometimes you see one, sometimes you see the other. We're seeing both today. There where they sped up and you had two guitarists doing quite intricate lead work. You had a drummer doing what sounded like a long fill but became that rhythmic pattern, that loopable cyclic pattern. It sounded so full. Now I want to talk about the bass, because even though it sounded impossibly full and impossibly busy, you were still able to hear that bass significantly in certain areas. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, that's down to the mixing. And in some regards, yes. But I'm pretty sure that live will be no different. And that comes down to two things. The one is understanding that even though it's so busy, you can still create gaps. And there's two ways to do that. The one is actual space, small little gaps between other notes where the bass can pop and slap. And the other is tonally. So when you're doing a run, and if you're running down, or down, as in down towards the thinner strings, you're going to get more brightness. That's going to create more tone. It's going to cut through a bit sharper, and there's less opportunity. Whereas if you're running down the neck towards the head, or you're going up to the thicker strings, you hear some of that brightness go away, and then that slapping and popping is more audible. So it's just really good placement and understanding. This is, I don't want to say hundreds, this is thousands and thousands of hours of hard work that we're witnessing here, and we are very, very lucky to be watching them. Amazing. They went back into that original piece where the drummer kicked in the first time, except he created more gaps, more stops. His drums sound like there's a lot of sampling on them. It sounds like they're very produced. It sounds like they're very tight. There's a nice gate on it, which means that the noise kicking into the notes where it hits its peak and the noise fading away is limited. And it just creates for sharp cut-through sounds. They sound almost digital in a way. I know there are other little samples and synth pieces playing here and there, and it's remarkable, but it's just pieced together really well. I'd love to know if they have a producer I'm sure they have a producer they work with, but in terms of piecing the song together and writing, or if it's just something they manage on their own, I'm pretty sure they just do it on their own. And I can't pick out a lead songwriter, if that makes sense, because in a lot of cases with these guys, they play multiple instruments, so they can kind of show each other different things. I'm battling to pick out who the lead, I know who the lead person is in terms of visually. They keep showing the guy with the longer hair. The guy looks younger, but they are kind of going through the whole band, and why wouldn't you? Because they're technical wizards. But I can't pick out musically if it's one person or it's a collaboration. They all seem very, very, very talented. Cool video. nice effects on that guitar work. This is such a welcome break from all the intensity and the grooves. They introduce a melody, but then when they come in together as a band and they hit that groove, it's like you can't help but be impressed. Oh, I want to hear that drum fill again. I'm sorry, I'm making this quite a long reaction, but when you come across people like this, it's impossible not to pay respect and be appreciative. Just that fill, I'm not going to say anything about it, and then the fact that it was incredible, I want to hear it again. When they go back into kind of the main section that you heard right up front, and they're going back into it again, it seems now, the one thing I do want to mention is they are very, very good at delaying their notes. So normally where a bar starts, you expect the note to play, but they're usually very, very good at kind of either ignoring that completely or letting the drummer or the bassist come in there, and then the guitarist will chase that. Excuse the pun, because I'm also a chase. But the guitarist will chase that, and if you do it well, it seems it's a way of counteracting the intensity and speed of the things they're doing to create like a melody and like this floating groove. So it's like rushed, stop, slowed down, dragged out, rushed, stop. So it's like this variation within a high level of intensity that creates a melody. My brain's going to explode. Amazing. I like the end there. I liked how they took out everything and they just had the samples playing, and that's a credit to kind of the element that starts taking it away from rock, if you will, and takes it into, I just want to say music, because it's more like a hip hop kind of side of things, but I really like those samples and production pieces that they are inserting actually throughout the song, but you could hear it there in isolation. Yeah, they're just incredible. I don't know what to tell you. They and you know what's really nice is that for them to play that's probably, I don't want to say easy, but it's probably run of the mill for them. They're so used to it now. Their minds are so technically advanced and in tune that's probably something that they can just wake up and do with a bit of warming up, I'm sure. But it's nice that they don't try and overdo stuff. And I know that sounds ridiculous considering how intense that song was, but it would be very easy for them to go, well, I want to throw like a stupid speed solo in, or I want to do this. They just stuck to the song, stuck to the melody, as intense as it was, and they let it shine through, and it was beautiful. It really was beautiful. There's a lot of technical guys out there, and I recently did a reaction to Animals as Leaders, and I only did the one song, and that felt much more like a technical showcase. This is at a skill level equal to, but definitely feels more like a song. I can listen to this. I could put this on in the background and listen to it. Whatever I was doing, I'd probably be doing very quickly because of the speed of that, but it was great, man. I can't wait to do another one. It does mentally drain me, I'll be honest, trying to pick everything out, and it's difficult to listen to in the best possible way. It's probably quite easy to listen to if you're just listening, but when you try and do these reactions, they're a bit of a nightmare. I love them; they're great, and another one of those bands that I would absolutely love to see live. Maybe we do a live reaction next. We'll see. Let me know what you want next, and I got you. Until the next one, please be safe, be nice to each other, and have a damn good day.